Hey everybody, thanks for joining me and for junior bakers. All right, today we're gonna make a fun, easy recipe, an all-time favorite, pretzels, soft baked. Okay, we've done this before at the club and they always come out good. There's two different toppings that you can choose from today. We're gonna do cinnamon sugar and then we're gonna do some salt. But if you have any other ideas of toppings that you wanna put on, feel free, go crazy, have fun, and make the dippings and the side stuff to your creativity. All right, so you only need about a half an hour for this. We're not gonna be here watching me for half an hour because we're gonna whip through this as quick as we can. All right, so hopefully everybody has the recipe that I put out online, and I'm gonna follow along on the recipe. This way, we're all doing the same thing. I have a few extra added things that I like to do when I'm baking to make things go quicker, or maybe just for me better, makes the recipe that much better. Okay, so listen up, here we go, let's get started. All right, I gotta put on my glasses. Okay, so what we're gonna start with is we're gonna turn on the oven. Make sure you ask for help first if you are not allowed to do this on your own. And then also make sure your hands are all clean. Get all your supplies ready. All right, so I'm gonna turn my oven on. 425 for preheat. Okay, it'll be good and heated for when our pretzels go in the oven. Okay, so we did that. I've got my baking sheet ready. I don't have parchment paper, but it says don't use it anyway. I have my spray, my little spray that I'll put on the thing. Okay, so it doesn't stick. All right, so first things first, we're gonna dissolve the yeast in warm water. So it took me a long time to find the instant yeast on Nantucket. So I actually found it at Annie's, and it comes like in this big thing, and I can use it for many recipes. So I'm glad I have this. So what we're gonna do is we are going to put in 1.5 cups of warm water. So I'm just gonna take some water from the tap. I'm gonna warm it up. And listen to my voice. Doesn't have to be boiling water. It just has to be warm water. Sorry I didn't have this going before. My tap is warming up good. Getting there, getting there, getting there. 1.5 cups. All right, I'm filling it up. I'm using one of these measuring things. I think I might have filled it up a little too much. That's okay. All right, so 1.5 cups. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in my 2 1/4 teaspoons of the yeast. Okay, since I don't have a packet, if you have a packet, I believe that would be the exact amount, like the small packets, but I don't have the small packet, so I'm gonna put 1, 2, and a little tiny itty bitty 1/4 teaspoon in there. Okay, I'm gonna put this to the side so it doesn't spill. All right, then I'm gonna stir it up until it dissolves. It said on the directions that it's okay if there's a little bit of clumps, but you want to mostly get it dissolved in there. So I'm going to stir it up as best as I can, because it will all get mixed in anyway with the flour and the salt when we put it in. Okay, so our next thing is, okay, it says some clusters of yeast will remain. Add salt and sugar. Okay, so we're getting there. It's starting to turn into kind of like a oatmeal-y type color. And I do see the clusters on the top. It's okay. All right, I can kind of smash them up a little bit. All right, so we're gonna add it says salt. So it calls for 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna do this one. Okay, so I have another teaspoon, 1 teaspoon of salt. All right, here we go. 1 teaspoon of salt, and then it says 1 tablespoon of sugar. I gotta open this. I think this is a brand new sugar. Yep, it is. I struggle with opening up new things. It's like Fort Knox with some of the things they put. All right, so this one is the 1 tablespoon. All right, so I need a tablespoon. Okay, tablespoon of sugar. All right, and that goes into the water with the yeast and the salt. Okay, I'm going to stir it up. All right, I'm going to mix it all up here. Try to combine it a little bit more. Okay. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer this liquid into a bigger bowl, which I have right here, because then I'm going to start adding the flour to the water. And I like to put my flour through a sifter. Well, not only is it fun, it's also, it makes for the flour to absorb through any of your other ingredients and smooth, so it's not so clumpy. All right, so this looks pretty good. I'm pretty satisfied with that. So I'm pouring that into my big bowl. Put that aside for dishes later. Make sure you help. All right, so then the next part, gotta put on my old spectacles. Okay, so it says slowly add 3 cups of flour in. All right, so I'm gonna do 1 cup at a time because I'm gonna sift it through. So I've got 1 cup and I've got my big thing of flour. And you're also gonna need flour for your workspace when you're rolling out your flour. All right, so I got 1 cup. I'm gonna put it over in my bowl, my sifter, because if you put your stuff in your sifter and the bowl's not there, some might go on the counter. All right, so I'm just gonna go. That, as you can tell, is so much fun. I love the sound of it, and it looks so beautiful. And then it says to use a wooden spoon. I have a bamboo spoon, so I'm gonna kind of do what it says and pay attention, because sometimes with baking you do have to be a little bit exact with measurements and with certain things. All right, so yeah, this is definitely starting to be clumpy, but that's okay. We gotta mix it all in, and it is gonna be sticky even after we add the final 3 cups of flour. If you read further down on the directions. All right, so I'm gonna put another cup in, another cup of flour. Actually, let me just do all 3. Let me just go quick. You don't need to sit here and listen to me. Okay. So I got my 3 cups of flour. I'm gonna sift this in. There's our sound again. I don't need my glasses for that. I only need my glasses for reading. I can clearly see my sifter and my flour. All right, so I sifted all of that through. I'm going to put that to the side, and I'm going to carefully combine everything. Oh, it's getting pasty. Pasty turns into dough. Moving my stuff out of the way here. Oh yeah, we got some dough happening here. Mine's happening. Hopefully you have some dough happening right now too, or when you do the recipe you'll see, oh, you gotta get some muscles into this one. Boy, I forgot how hard it is. Normally when we're at the club doing junior bakers, you guys have to do the hard work. I just sit there and say, oh, do this, do that, do this, and you do all the stirring and the mixing. I sure do miss our sessions of junior bakers at the club, but hopefully soon enough we'll be back in action. Ugh. Oh my gosh. And then when we get to the part where you're going to shape up your pretzels, please have fun with the shapes. Like, make any shapes you want. I know, like, I'll show you how to make the traditional, like the little pretzel twist shape, but then you can make little pretzel like balls maybe, or you could try to make them flat, or you could try to make a heart shape. I know in the past you kids have done a good job surprising me with different shapes. Okay, oh my goodness, that's heavy duty. All right, so It says to slowly add a little more flour into it if it's still sticky, because I put my finger in there and it's very sticky, icky. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slowly add some more flour in. So I just filled up about a half a cup. And I'm just going to, and I'm not even going to put that whole half a cup in. I'm just going to do it a little bit at a time. I don't want to go too much because then your pretzels will be dry and maybe, well, they could be crispy, which people like crispy pretzels too. I guess that's not the worst thing. Because then as soon as it gets unsticky, you're going to be able to use your hands to dig in. Okay, I might start that process of digging in, and I might add a little more flour because the spoon is still a little gooey. Wish I had more than one hand. Okay, I'm going to add the rest of this flour in because it was only 3 3¾ to 4 cups of flour. I don't want to go too overboard yet, because then our pretzels would be super soft. Oh shoot, I should have taken my glasses off. Oh well, I'll have to wash them. All right, yay. All right, now it's time to dig in with those hands. Please make sure your hands are clean. They're clean. Whoa. That was a little nutty. Crazy. Did you see the puff of flour come up? And be careful. All right. So it's still a little tiny bit sticky, but just work in that flour that's in the bowl. Real good. That's good. And then if you want, as long as you have a nice clean work space that you were working on underneath your bowl, you can always put some flour onto your workspace, which I'm going to do. I'm going to just put a scoop in there, and I'm going to sprinkle some flour on my countertop here so that it doesn't stick. Doesn't matter how much you put on. And remember, you're not really adding that flour into your recipe. You're just having it on your countertop so that your pretzel dough doesn't stick. But some of it might get absorbed in because it is, mine was still a little bit sticky. But now it's feeling pretty good. Okay. Even though I have some all over my fingers. All right, we're doing good here. Okay, so I'm going to just talk to you a little bit while I'm making this. I did make up some cinnamon and sugar to put on top of some of my pretzels, and then I'm going to put salt. I like the big sea salt, coarse salt, like the big crystals. I'm going to put that on the other half of my pretzels. But to make cinnamon and sugar, all you need is maybe like 1/4 of a cup of sugar, and then maybe about a teaspoon of cinnamon. If you like it really cinnamony, you can put more cinnamon. Or if you just like a hint of cinnamon, then just put a little bit less cinnamon in. All right, so yippee-yi-yi-yo. All right, my oven is ready. That's good. We have good timing here. All right, so yeah, I have my little cinnamon and sugar in here, mixture in there. Then there is one more step after we do our pretzel twists. All right, so what I'm going to do, it says to knead. Knead is to work through your dough. Really squish it up, squeeze it in your hand so all the ingredients are combined. If it feels a little sticky, just add a little bit of the flour that's on your countertop in. It's okay. It's all good. All right, so now what we're going to do, it doesn't really matter. You can break apart your dough, just use your hands. It says you can use a knife on here, but I'm just going to use my hands. It says, okay, so we did that for about 3 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. All right, so now what we're going to do, I just took about a ball, about a golf ball size, maybe a little bit bigger, and I'm going to start working it into kind of a rope. And I am going to lay it flat on the counter too. Oops. And if you mess up, you can just squish it back together and start rolling it again. All right, let's see if this works. I haven't done this in a long time. All right, so I'm just making kind of a long rope. Sometimes it goes back to the ball form. So that's why you have to like really work and be patient, make like a big long snake. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to point the computer down or the camera down to where I'm working. If you can see, I have my rope here. And then all you have to do is you take the both ends and you loop it around and make like an X, like that. Okay, almost like a bow. And then I forgot to prepare my pan, so I'm going to do that now. I'm going to spray up my pan so I can start putting some pretzels on here. So I'm going to spray, I'm going to do it over the sink. Not too much spray, but enough to coat the pan. Okay, so I'm going to put that on. Then I'll make another one. I won't make too many just because I'm sure you guys will want to get out on your own and start making these pretzels. And then I'm just going to show you one last step you do before you put them in the oven. And when you put them in the oven for about 10 minutes, but I would check on them because everybody's ovens are different. People have convection ovens, or people have gas stove ovens or electric stove, so or ovens. So make sure you check maybe around 8 minutes. So put a timer on just to see that they're not burning, or maybe you want to take them out before they get too golden brown. All right, so here we go. I got another one here. All right, I'm going to show you one more time. I'm going to aim the camera down to my workspace here. I've got a thick rope. I'm rolling it out, stretching it out a little more. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your ends and you're going to curl one side over and then the other side over like an X. This one's kind of thick, but that's all right. This one's a funny one. It's a goofy one. It'll be a thick one. And I put that one on there too. Okay, so there is one more step for this. Before we put them in the oven, you're going to take an egg and you're going to crack it in a bowl. You can always do that in the beginning of your thing so you're ready. Unlike me, I'm backtracking. Okay, and then you're going to take your whisk and beat it up. It says to dip the whole pretzel into the egg mixture. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, or if your pretzel is too big for your bowl, because this one could probably fit in. But what I like to do is I have like a little, somewhere in here hopefully, I have a little, kind of looks like a paintbrush. Looks like this. And I'm just going to dip my paintbrush in the egg thing. I'm sure if you asked whoever the cook is in your house, if you have one of these, you might have one. And then I'm just going to coat the top side. I'm not going to do the bottom side with the egg mixture. And so I'm going to do this one too. My chubby one, he's a cute one. This one's going to be more like a ball. Pretzel ball. And like I said, you can make any shape you want. You could try to make a heart or a square, or maybe the first letter of your name. That's fun too, to make letters with pretzels. It's pretty easy to do. And then, so with that, it's going to enable for your toppings to stick. So I'm going to sprinkle on cinnamon and sugar on one of them. That's it. Can you see? Probably not. Nope, now you can see. And I'm going to sprinkle that on. Give it a good coating. Then the other one, I'm going to do my sea salt, my big things on there. I like a lot of salt. And the egg helps it stick on. All right, so after you roll out all your dough and all your shapes, stick this in the oven for about 10 minutes. Remember to check on it at 8 minutes. And then let them cool off for a little bit, but they still taste good warm. If you're going to eat them warm, they're delicious. You can also look online for some pretzel dipping recipes. You can always mix up like some honey and mustard, and or just some mustard. I know kids aren't always mustard fans, but there's a bunch of different recipes that you can make for dipping your pretzel in, or just enjoy them as is with the cinnamon and sugar or with the salt crystals. All right, have fun with this. Please be safe. Make sure you help clean up, and send me in some of your pictures of your pretzels. You can send them to Doreen at nantucketboysandgirlsclub.org, or you can upload them yourself, but make sure you @tag Nantucket BGC so that we can see them on the Boys and Girls Club website. And then, let's see, what am I missing? I guess that's it. But also, you can always email me some baking ideas that you have in your mind, or maybe you have your own recipes that you want me to share with everybody and help me make a video. All right, so thanks again for joining me, Junior Bakers, and hope to see you again next week. Enjoy your pretzels. Bye, love you, miss you.